Hi guys, how you going? Welcome back. I'm AM Reaper. This is DMT, Journey of the Infant Mind. Last episode we looked at the pineal gland. We looked at where it is, and what it does. Let's have a look. What a pineal gland is, it's a small pine cone shaped organ right in the centre of the brain. What does it do? It contains melatonin and hormones, control REM sleep, and your circadian rhythm, which is the rhythm keep your body normal pattern, sleeping, wake, fertility and growth and regeneration. Alright, so let's have a look. Go forward in these pictures. So the pineal gland, we looked at how it was known by different civilizations. There's a cutaway picture of the eye Horus, and there's a picture of the section of the brain to show you where the pineal gland is in the brain. As I said, it was a shape of a pine cone. These are all different civilizations that went through that sort of recognised the Angkor Wat Temple, Vatican, Hitler, the Egypts, the Mayans, the Incans. There's the guys at Bohemian Grove that I mentioned, that they knew about it too. Check them out. It's pretty wild stuff. It's a fair bit of conspiracy garbage there, but there's a bit of truth to it. There's Angkor Wat Temple. There you go, you can see all the pine cones on the top. That's Hitler's staff with the pine cones. There's the pine cone fractal image resembling the pineal gland. It's also called the third eye in many cultures, the all-seeing eye of knowledge, the way to connect with the divine. As you can see there, it's the crown chakra, the second one from the top, the blue one, and the purple one. Oh, sorry, the crown chakra, you silly boy. The third eye chakra is the blue one, the crown chakra is the top one, the purple one. And there you go, ancient pictures depicting there's the third eye, seat of the soul. Pineal gland is the seat of the soul, so believed. They go into the Schumann frequencies and resonance. We went through digital drugs. Digital drugs were killing people with resonance and frequency, so that means that noise, stuff that people are listening to, the brainwaves were changing, they were killing them, and will drastically change, not all people, but extreme cases. That was just to show that it highly modifies the body's structure of cells by pumping that sort of frequency through your brain. Schumann resonance. It's the resonance between the ionosphere and the earth. As the earth spins, it makes a noise, and that's the resonance frequency that bounces between. There's the earth spinning. There it is there. Binaural beats. Meditate to it, sort of thing. It's meditation sort of thing. Gets that. Binaural beats. There's a frequency running through your brain. You have it on a set of headphones. It's got to be double headphones, and that changes your brain frequency to whatever you're listening to, i.e. be a digital drug for, say, LSD, that puts your brain into such a frequency. You listen to that for 17 minutes, half hour, and it changes the frequency of your brain to that brainwave. So theory is you experience the effects of those drugs, but I wouldn't recommend it. We mucked around with it years ago when I was on one of them silly phone apps, that sort of stuff. It's just bloody horrible. I wouldn't even bother. You end up just giving yourself a headache. No wonder people were popping blood cells and all sorts of things, popping veins, aneurysms and things. It's terrible to listen to. Yeah, so it just pumps it in your frequency in your ear, makes all your cells vibrate. There's a blood cell vibrating. And Buddha, that was the interesting thing about Buddha. And people who meditate, not just Buddha, they meditate, and it vibrates to the top of the mouth and goes in through, and it's supposed to agitate the pineal gland, or stimulate, I should say, not agitate. And then we went on to a bit about Wallace Thornhill, Australian guy. It's about electric universe, and we were talking about frequencies in brain, talking about frequency changing brain waves here, where a frequency can be a signal, a radio wave, electricity. This guy goes on to explain how a lot of the universe was created by electricity, and things travel around electricity. There it is there, electric universe. As I said, there was another guy involved, a mathematician from Sydney or Brisbane in Australia. This guy's Australia, from Western Australia, I think. Plus, we added it in that I forgot to tell you about the Buddha, the 49th day of gestation. The fetus is when the soul is supposed to enter the fetus in the Buddhist religion, and in Western medicine, that's actually the day when DMT is present in the body for the first time in very high quantities, which is very interesting because the Buddhas reckon that the soul enters through the pineal gland into the body, into the fetus that day, and that day, coincidentally, there's a hell of a lot of DMT present in the human body for the first time. There is just a picture of a baby going woo through the pineal. Not that I'm really caught up on all the stuff. This is just what you find. I don't know anything about this sort of stuff. I can't. It's just I do, but I'm just saying this is what you find. This is the best of the information that you will find. There's better pictures and whatever else, but what I'm telling you is what you will find. I didn't write it. I'm just reciting it. It seems it's not my fault they put it in all the religions, and this is what they find. If it had been they sat down and had tea and scones, well, we'd be talking about tea and scones. We'd be talking about dimethyltryptamine. And at the moment, the pineal gland was hypothesised to produce these third eye visions, these transcendent states. So therefore, I mean, I'm not. There's some pictures that as you can see all through history of different civilizations that already worked this out, and so I'm just sort of giving you a bit of a look at that. And then we have in the Bible, and Jacob called the name of the place Pioneer, for I have seen God face to face in my life is preserved. Genesis 32:30. There's a few different versions you'll find over the internet of that, but basically it's just pretty spun out. Pineal. Here we go. So that's pretty interesting. Oh, what I was going to say, I apologise for the point 0.04 that I was talking about, the spirit molecule and their dose range 1 to 6. So for instance, the 4 dose range was 0.04 milligrams per kilogram. So if you weigh 60 kilograms, 6 times 6 is 36, so you have 36 milligrams of DMT supposedly. For a level 4 experience. Level 1 was, level 2 was hardly worth, level 3 was okay, level 4 was weird, wow, I got something awesome out of that. It was pretty hectic, but I could live with it and bring something back. Level 5 was all, this is getting a bit out of control, and level 6 was, that was just chaotic and traumatic for these people, so therefore they all agreed on level 4. But the point was at 0.04 milligrams per kilogram, right? And that was the agreed dosage for a decent experience without scaring the shit out of yourself too much. In my opinion, to be honest with you, it needs to be more. Yeah, you need to go. Anyway, we'll talk about that at a later date. And yeah, sorry about the microphone. I've got a noise gate on it because there's not a noise around this house, and if I leave the microphone wide open, it just picks up all sorts of stuff. So I don't have any sound deadening. So there we go. Unfortunately, sorry about that. We'll try and work on it. Rightio, so what's next? We need to know where to find all this information. To be honest with you, I'm just going to give you a few pointers here at the moment of where to find some of the better information about DMT on the internet. Obviously, we're going to start off with the first. There we go, the old powder. That's yellow, hasn't been. But anyway, that's what you mainly used to find, yellow DMT, but a lot of white stuff getting around now. If I go first place, obviously going to start as Dr. Rick Strassman, Cottonwood Foundation Research, New Mexico. He wrote the spirit molecule. He performed the medical experiments, actually, that went into this. It was a medical experiment. Got a heap of different people together, and they all collaborated on it and given DMT through intravenous at different dosages, recorded it all under a medical and hospital supervision, and wrote a book about it, and he's still on his journey now. He's also, there he is, Strassman. It's pretty cool if you can read that. I'll leave it on screen for a minute. Rick Strassman attended the Einstein College of Medicine, University. I can't read all that. It's cut a bit off the screen, silly boy. I'll actually try and fix that right now while we're doing that, because that's a bit of a pain in the bum. We'll go up to that, unmove that, click on that, we'll move it over a bit. Yeah, whoops, there we go. Sorry about that. I'll just do that. So there we go, so you can see it a bit better. Yeah, so you've probably finished reading that by now. So he's not a dumbass, put it that way, you know. There we go. He also wrote a few different books about it. DMT, The Soul of Prophecy. It's pretty cool. He also studied Buddhism for a fair while and opened his own monastery and all sorts of stuff. Then we have a good old bloke. Now this guy, Terence McKenna, he speaks about magic mushrooms a lot. He's like the mushroom king. But, as I said, very similar that he's an dimethyltryptamine, just got a couple more hydrogen atoms and whatnot, 4-HANM-DMT. But Terence he really knows what he's on about, Terence. Then he wrote some books, Psilocybin and Food for the Gods. There's some publications he did. He also did a lot of public speaking, going around and talking to a lot of people. There's a lot of people went to see this guy. Got a funny sounding voice, and then he got onto DMT after he got on psilocybin. He found DMT and travelled around the world talking about it. He even went to the Amazon and gave the shaman over there crystal DMT, smokable DMT. And that's interesting if you look that up and see what they talk to say about that. And if you didn't know, on the spirit molecule, Rick Strassman, when he did that, because he was fairly into Buddhism, he was a Buddhist. And at the start of the spirit molecule, they were really into his research. They thought it was a great thing. They was really interested to see what he's coming up with. They was fairly on par with their spiritual beliefs and what they thought was happening when you sort of what the go was. Then after a while, they turned against it and didn't really like it. So they faded away from it. I think, I'm not sure if he took one, someone tried it or what. I'm pretty sure they did have a go. One of the head monks, and he's just thought, no, this is just, it's too wild for the average person. Like, these guys study for years to try this stuff out and know how to navigate, and they take their mantras and things with them so to protect themselves, and they sort of, it's a very big learning curve for them. And good old Westerners, we just polar in there and let's go, bang, put yourself right in the middle of La La Land where you've got no idea what's going on and no idea how to defend yourself, protect yourself, and that worried the Buddhists and that, so they said, no, this isn't a good idea. So he felt bad pretty much and condoned his experiment and stopped it. But before he did DMT, he did an experiment on melatonin because they thought that melatonin was a drug that puts you to sleep, which it is, but it doesn't create the visions. So if you think melatonin was creating the visions, it wasn't. Yeah, you can look that up too. But here he is, Terence McKenna, back to Terence. He's a great fella. He's way he describes DMT and some of the things he says when he's talking about his elves and different things. Like he's spot on, this guy. He's not just his elves, and that's like the worst thing I've ever heard anyone talk about on DMT, but unfortunately he's right. Yeah. But that's not the point. My point is just the way he looks at it. He says DMT he can't die on DMT, but I reckon it's possible to be scared to death, astonished to death. And that's it. And he's not joking. I said it myself, but it's just, a heart attack from astonishment, a brain bust because you don't know what the fuck's going on. Not that anyway, but we're going to talk about that later. Another date. There's his brother Dennis, and he's pretty cool too. He's on the spirit molecule as well. He's a fairly knowledgeable guy with psychedelics, and then there is Terence and Dennis together, brothers in arms. Both very, very smart guys in these fields. Both. I think Dennis is a doctor. Terence, I'm not sure if Terence ever got sort of some qualification like that, but he's one in a million. And we have Graham Hancock. He's smart. He was on there too. He's one participant in Spirit Molecule. He's an Egypt. He's got a mate who's an Egyptologist, but he can tell you about anything you ever want to know about ancient Egypt, and they did a lot of stuff on death and that. So he's right into this. He goes to South America and annually and has ayahuasca treatment. Civil ceremonies he participates in. He wrote some books and he does some TV series. They're worth watching. He's very active on YouTube and he's a very smart guy. Have a see what he's got to say. He knows what he's on about. That's one of the books he wrote. And then we got Joe Rogan. Yeah, he interviews a lot of these guys, and Joe's had a fair bit of DMT. He gets a bit carried away in his first episodes when he first starts getting on DMT and smoking DMT. He's a bit carried away, as is everybody, and he carries on a bit out there, as does everybody. So therefore, you can't hold that against him. But when you listen to some of his more later stuff where he's a bit more calmed down and settled, and he's got a lot more clearer head on the subject, same as I do now, where I didn't before, same as him. I'm not bagging him out, I'm just saying he's bloody good to listen to. Obviously he's his best podcast in the world, so yeah, good on Joe. He's a champion. We'd love to meet Joe. It'd be nice to go there and have a chat with Joe, but obviously that'll bloody never happen, but it'd be nice. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, listen to Joe. He interviews a lot of these cool guys. He smoked a lot of DMT and done a lot of other psychedelics. He's got a pretty cool outlook on things now. And just when he first started smoking DMT, he was a bit carried away with the fact that what it was all about, which is understandable, as everybody is. There he is, there, old Joe. And then the next best place I find, if you really want to get in it, there's a place on the internet called the DMT Nexus. And that's when you first type that in and log in, that's what you see. Up the top there is towards the top there, the middle one, and it's forums. There's pictures and art and all sorts of things. But you want to go to the forums. You've got to log in, create a login. You can go to the forums without creating a login, but if you want to participate, you have to log in. And in saying that, they're not letting people in all the time. They don't like. You can't be a dipshit on there. You've got to sort of, not be stupid. There are a lot of college kids on there that sort of blow everything out of proportion, but there's a lot of cool guys on there. Not cool. There's a lot of knowledgeable people on there that really know. So then there's, you get your range from people that are asking the questions to people that have experienced it to people that really know their maths and science behind different things. So you're getting a vast range of knowledge. You pick and choose, and everyone's got their different stages of where they're at when they start with their own DMT treatment, I suppose you'd sort of call it. Because that's how it all sort of ends up in a way. There are some people that try and abuse it, and pretty much if that happens and you try and be a smart ass with this stuff, it will kick your ass. It will show you. As stupid as that sounds, it'll get hold of you and wring your neck. So, always show respect, as stupid as that sounds. Don't ever think you're going to be a hero or too much, because, no heroes with this stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to make this from harm reduction. I've got a few other couple of things. So on DMT Next, if you want to get on there and check out the guy, and he pretty knows what he's talking about. Voven, he's one of the older guys on there. There's another dude there, Sib and Earthwalker, pretty cool guys. There's another dude on there, Ex-Old Reaper. Check out some of his stuff, reports. There's a lot of trip reports on there. There's a lot of discussions about different things. There's a lot of questions that you can ask. There's no talking about where to source stuff and things like that, but it's very interesting. A lot of knowledgeable people. If you want to know anything about DMT, stay off marijuana websites. Just go to the DMT Nexus. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's one of the forum pages there that you can see. You can just sort of go to anything really. Just type in what you want and search for it. A lot of people talking about different things. Ooh, cool picture. But yes, as I said, you do this for harm reduction. This stuff can be pretty it might not kill you, but it might destroy your mind if you're not careful. So, there we go. And I wanted to show about Eki pills and stuff too. Like, you go on the DMT Nexus. If you're out there and you're watching this and you do all this sort of stupid shit too, if you get some pills and you know what they are, get a pill report, send them an email, send them a picture. More than likely someone else has already sent it in. Go to pillreport.com and check out the pills. I'll give you a test ratings. I'll tell you what they are. That's not exactly on their phones, a bit different. But just use your brain, people. Like, it's not that hard. You guys can spend 5 minutes looking at everything else on your phone, a bit of porn or some chick's G-string. Man, just spend 5 minutes looking after yourself. It doesn't take long. And, so be safe. Just look after yourself and your mates. If you get something shit, just throw the fucking crap out. You don't need to be poisoning yourself with shit. Same as if you get magic mushrooms. Like, you can choose good. I know what the good ones are and I know what the bad ones are, and sometimes when you don't know what you're doing, some of the bad ones look like the good ones, especially when you're looking for cubensis and subercanosa mushrooms. They're very similar to a lot of other mushrooms that grow around the place that will fucking kill you. So therefore, go to shroomery.com, okay? They know what they're talking about. They've got pictures, there's blokes on there that know. Ask a question and find out. There are websites and places to find the proper information for the different chemicals that people are consuming. The reason I say about these ones is everyone's eating ecstasy like lily pills, so not over here, but more on the mainland, so to speak. So therefore, go there and have a look, man. Just check your shit out before you chuck it down your throat. And then when people are going to start picking shrooms this time of year, get on there and have a look what they are and what the go is. Really study your stuff. You can kill yourself if you take the wrong ones. And once you've eaten it and you're a fair way away from the hospital, it's pretty poisonous. So careful. Right, next, what I need to talk about here. Yeah, right, this is a topic that I want to talk about for a while. This is right off the top of all this stuff, so we're going to start talking about some strange shit now. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of my experiences, not with DMT. This is before we get into those sorts of things. I'm not sure how to tackle those ones. I might have to go into the old pictures and take the face off the internet type of thing. I work, got a family, don't want to I'm not doing these things now, I don't incriminate myself, that's all. So anyway, I'm not doing any of that, it's just information, isn't it? I want to talk about deja vu. Now, the reason I'm talking about all these strange things is because when you start getting into the DMT experience, it will make a lot more sense to you of what's going on. Now, this doesn't, but I'll explain some. Just want to talk about it for a brief second because I had a few experiences on DMT where this will make sense or comes into it. The deja vu, originating from the French meaning already seen. There we go, already seen. Why does it happen? Sometimes because our sense of familiarity and recognition kicks in too soon when we first view a scene, or our brains then make sense of this, feeling familiarity by seeing the scene as recalled from prior experience. It can be seen as amnesia, a memory from a current sensory memory, with a missed attribute as being long-term memory. Yeah, righto. Okay, so that's the clinical one of it. That's fair enough. That they know what they're talking about. But I had a thing once, right? And this I'm not shitting you. When I was a young bloke, knocking around with Metallica t-shirts and playing guitars and driving around smoking weed and all that sort of stupid shit. Right, yeah. I had a dream one night, and I remembered it because it was so scary. I always remembered it because it was really weird. And we had a dream that I was at this place, and I walked in, and I saw this guy, and he took to himself with a shotgun, and he blew half his head off with a shotgun. I won't say names on the internet. And he was sitting at a table smoking a marijuana bong through a hose out of a jar, like a real, not a big hose, like a little piece of garden, his face all blown up, like fixed, but not blood, not dripped with blood, just fixed, all scarred up and fucking. So there, and I thought, what the fuck? And it sort of scared me. I was like 15, 17 sort of thing. What the fuck? No word of a lie. 6 months later, I walked into a house, walked out the back. The guy goes, meet this bloke. Going, g'day mate. He looked up, he'd have his head blown off. He was sitting there smoking a cone through a big Vegemite jar with a piece of hose in it, like garden hose, sitting up with half his fucking face blown off. And I fucking backpedaled out of the house and fucking near shit in my pants. And I thought, what the fuck? How does that work? How does this sort of shit work? What's going on here? Like this, that's just too fucking fucked up. Maybe you have deja vu and you go, oh, I've been here. Have I seen this before? I'm down the street. Oh, I'm in the car. But to walk into some dude's house after you seen him in a dream with half his head fucking shot off with a shotgun, smoking a billy out of a bloody Vegemite jar bong with a piece of hose in his mouth just because his lips all fucked up and he just fit a piece of hose in. Was very spun out. So I've always remembered that, and it made me think, what the hell is going on here? Is it a dream or is it a premonition sort of thing? But anyway, that comes into it later on. What the fuck? And the next thing I wanted to talk about too, I'm a bit of a strange, aren't I? know. It's a thing called sleep paralysis. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced sleep paralysis, or you've looked it up on the internet or anything like that. But I mean, I was a surfer when I was a young bloke. I didn't do anything stupid. I had a few beers here and there. Started smoking a few joints when I was, this time wasn't smoking heavily weed or drinking. I hadn't started working yet, so it wasn't, when you start working, it's when you start spending money on grog and stuff, isn't it? And I was, a couple of times when I was 14 and 15. It happened 3 times. My experience with sleep paralysis is, I'll read this, what it says about sleep paralysis out here in this document here in front of me. Sleep paralysis is a feeling of being conscious but unable to move. It occurs when a person passes between stages of wakefulness and sleep. During these transitions, you may be unable to move or speak for a few seconds or up to a few minutes. Some people may also feel pressure or a sense of choking, often frightening. The symptoms are paralysis, anxiety, hallucinations, either visual and or auditory or both. So I'll tell you my experience with it. And I didn't know I hadn't done anything like this or had any LSD or anything stupid like that. That was when you get to 18, 17, 18, But anyway, I was a young bloke, sitting in bed late at night. I'd wake up. It'd be 10 to 2 in the morning, 10 to 2, like 1:50 a.m. I'd sit there and I'd be awake and I'd stay awake till 2:14. Then at 2:15 I started to hear this noise in my ears. It was weird. There was a time and it was timed and it was the same every time. Hear this noise in your ears. I just wake up out of the blue, look at the clock and go, oh fuck, it's that time again. First time, it happened the same every time. You hear this noise and it just like this whine, this really low pitched whine, and you go like wee, and just get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And so exactly like this, you sit in your bed, you wake up at the clock, you watch the clock, and you think, why am I awake? What's going on here? The next minute, and you're laying on your side, and you sort of think, what? You're watching the clock. You hear this noise. You feel like there's a presence. And you hear this noise and it just gets so loud and it just goes whining. It goes right into your ears and it gets that loud, it just breaks you apart. It just really, it's fucking unreal. When people first started talking about smoking DMT in high doses of it, that's what I expected to hear. I've never heard a whine that loud on DMT. Only about half as loud, but sometimes you don't always hear. Just because they say you do doesn't mean you do. You don't. Yeah, you might. Yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that later. But I'm just saying, yeah, the whine that you expect to hear on DMT, real loud. This was fucking loud. It was like just that loud, just break you apart in a million pieces as soon as it fucking went right into your brain. And then you feel like someone's in the room, and then you can't move, and you can't speak, you can't scream, you can't fucking move. You know, you can sense everything around you and what's going on, but you can't see or do anything. You know you're sitting there and you're stuffed up and you're awake, but your body's asleep and you're awake in your body, but you can't wake it up. And fuck me, it stayed like that for me for like half an hour, and then I'd get up and I'd just fucking, when I could finally, everything just get poof, and everything just stop, and you just fucking get up and you'd run. I was in the house and I'd run down to my parents' bedroom, fucking bawling and carrying on like this. Even though I was 15 years old, or 14, 15 years old, it was like scary as all fuck. My dad thought I was nuts, just wake up from a bad dream, but you know, that's what it was like, and I had no idea what it was for years. But it happened a few times. It hasn't happened since. Usually happens to young adults and things like that. But yeah, had a pretty spun out deja vu, and then I had a pretty spun out couple of sleep paralyses. So, if you've had them out there, I don't wish them on anybody. It's not much fun at all. It actually frightens the living hell out of you because you don't know what's going on. If I'd known what it was to start with, these days it probably wouldn't be so bad. But you're just completely paralysed. You can't even speak, but you can scream, and you can hear in your own mind you're screaming, but no one else can hear. So it's not real good. Much like that dude off Metallica's One, I suppose. Can't really do much. It's just like laying there and nothing. But you're as loud as inside. Anyway, enough about that. I just wanted to share that with you about the old sleep paralysis. But the deja vu is a strange thing. Well, alright. Thank you for watching. I'm AM Reaper. This is JOTIM DMT, Journey of the Infant Mind. Send us a comment down the likes there. In the comments, just whatever, don't care. Send us an email. Subscribe. Press the button. Subscribe. I'll chuck a few things up. The more people that watch, the better I can make it. I'm going to sort of get a bit better at filmmaking when I start making these sort of like trip videos. Next I'm going to make one about the set and setting and how we sort of set things up, and a good way to do and why you do what I'll explain the best way that I think, and I've tried and tested on many. I didn't agree with it when I was first shown, but I think it's bloody awesome. So I'll sort of walk you through that and why, and then we'll start talking about how and get prepared for the experience. So I'll probably have to take my face off here after that because it's all good. We'll see how we go. I'm not exactly going to do anything on here. Send us an email. Email us down the bottom there. jotimdmt@gmail.com. It'd just be nice to hear from somebody. And yeah, there's your pineal gland there, the old speculated machine. So thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, the next video, as I said, I'm going to start doing set and setting. How I find a really good way to set things up after a lot of research and a lot of different things. So cool, and you will too. So enjoy. Until the next time, peace out. AM Reaper.